Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Patricia Villone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Thanks for joining us this evening. Dozens of Riverdale residents are displaced after an apartment building is condemned. Officials say the 65-unit Riverdale Towers suffered from water damage stemming from recent storms. 200 residents were forced to evacuate the building last night.
Shelter was established at Bladensburg High School, and it continues to stay open. We've had Department of Environmental Resources sort of on site, inspecting, and as well as getting a contractor out there to get these repairs done as soon as possible, so we can get these residents back in their homes. Right now, we're still waiting for an assessment and a time that it'll reestablish. As far as going forward, we're going to have that shelter available, but we have social services, family services working with every single displaced resident to find them, to make sure that they're taken care of now as their place gets repaired.
Displaced residents with questions or concerns are asked to call emergency operations at 301-583-1950. Well, Molly Nevola is following this story, and she's out at the Riverdale apartment complex with the latest on how displaced residents are coping tonight.
Well, around 200 residents of this apartment complex in Riverdale were in for quite a shock early this morning around 1 a.m. when they received a knock on the door from building management telling them to get out.
They were saying because of the damage of the roof on top, they wanted to evacuate the whole building, so everybody had to get out there. They turned our electric off last night, and we didn't have any air conditioning yesterday. So when I got home, there was no air conditioning on. I just told them I have a fish in my apartment, which I have to get to. The issue I have is, why do we have to go and get the resident manager to come escort us back to our building where we paying rent at? That's the thing I have.
We have one family right here. They have the infant kids, 2 of them, so it's really hard for them. Hard for everyone, but whoever have the little kids, they are having much more trouble through this. If they want to put us somewhere, I'm just trying to figure out that is it going to be a livable condition, how it's going to be. So hopefully they will do. The social service trying their best right now. So let's see what happens.
We cannot do that, like pay the rent and go to the motel on the same time. It's too much expensive. We don't know what to do next. Our situation is so bad right now, but we have shelter. But shelter and home is 2 different things.
Now, the fate of some of these residents is still to be decided. Many of them have gone to friends and family, and others were displaced to Bladensburg High School last night, where the American Red Cross will continue to assist families until the situation is resolved. In Riverdale, Molly Nevola, CTV News.
Building management tells us they hope to have the complex restored to livable conditions as soon as possible, but that could take up to a week.
Maryland should reverse its policy allowing utilities to charge fees to cover storm-related losses. That's according to State Senator Brian Frosch. The Democrat tells the Daily Record that the current policy is unfair because customers have to pay for service they're not receiving. Maryland allows utility companies to charge fees for the first 24 hours after a storm that causes widespread power outages. Well, Metro officials detail the cause of a derailment last weekend that shut down portions of the Green Line at the West Hyattsville Station. The incident came on the heels of another derailment 3 days earlier in College Park that forced passengers to flee a stranded Green Line train. Metro's Board Safety and Security Committee was briefed this morning about the incidents.
This rail, whenever it's exposed to heat, it expands, just like any other metal or whatever. Then whenever it cools back down, it starts contracting. So a lot of times people, we focus on the laying temperature during the daytime because that's when everybody is, very excited about that because, oh, it's really hot. But on our part, we really have to look at it from an all phases perspective because whenever you start getting up at 100 degrees or so at night, and then all of a sudden you're not cooling back down, what you're having is that your rail continues to expand. Is it really going back to its place of center?
According to Metro, extreme heat was the cause of the track buckling, but the lack of enough backup generators also contributed to the problem, as well as poor communication with customers in the College Park incident. Officials say they will also look into decreasing train speeds to under 45 miles per hour during excessive heat days.
Police are still looking for the suspect who shot a cab driver in Landover Hills on Tuesday. Authorities say the suspect shown in this police sketch got a ride from the New Carrollton Metro station. He asked the driver to take him to Cooper Lane Elementary School, where the suspect shot the cabbie in the leg before fleeing the scene. The suspect was last seen wearing a black t-shirt with a yellow design on the front and khaki cargo shorts. Police are asking anyone with information to call the Anonymous Crime Solvers hotline at 1-866-411-TIPS.
A serious car accident in Accokeek this morning sends 2 drivers to the hospital. The incident happened about 3 a.m. in the 18,000 block of Indian Head Highway. Authorities say a Toyota Corolla was driving on the wrong side of the road when it crashed into a Chevy Blazer. The 2 adult male drivers are currently in the hospital and in serious condition. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, but police believe alcohol may have been a factor. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Villone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.